So how is everyone doing out there today? This week we're coming from a different location. We're going to bring you a different video altogether. It's going to be not really a review, it's kind of like a comparison video. So we're at Woods Motorcycles. I'm here picking up some bits and I thought whilst I've got all these helmets and everything behind me, why not talk about helmets? So this video is by no means going to be a top 5 brands. I mean, you expect hundreds on motorcycle helmets. What we're going to look at today, I wouldn't say top 5, but I'd say 5 helmets, 5 interesting helmets that I'm interested in, 5 helmets that each have their own sort of merits and it's worth looking at. So the 3 brands we're going to look at today are Shark, Arai and HJC. And first on the list today is this Arai X4 tour helmet. So first of all, let's look at the ventilation on this helmet here. Of course you can ride it with the visor down. In fact, this visor isn't going to fog up with these little breathing ports in here. That's going to keep your visor from fogging up. But also it's wide enough to actually be able to ride with goggles in there as well, so you can remove the visor if you need to as well. And of course the emergency pull-out cheek pads here, in case you ever get into trouble, is a bonus point as well. These can be easily removed in any situation, and also the break-off cowls at the back is an extra feature as well. I can easily say that the Arai is probably top of its game when it's coming onto this off-road kind of on-road helmet. Beauty is you can use it off-road, it's safe enough to do it, and as I mentioned at the beginning, it's safe enough to ride at high speeds on the road as well, as is expected. When you're paying this amount of money for a helmet, the interior, the lining is going to be smooth, it fits snug, it fits your head perfectly, or fits my head perfectly anyway. Not to mention that the features of opening and closing these vents is so easy, you can do it with your gloves on, it's literally a click of the finger. These ones, a little bit trickier however, but if you are going to be riding the visor down, you're probably going to be having these open at all times. So that is it. Weight wise, it's not too bad, it's not the lightest, but it's not the heaviest as well. I'd say if you're going to be doing a lot of on and off-road touring, this is the helmet for you. Next on the list is a seriously lightweight Shark Spartan Carbon. Carbon, obviously for obvious reasons, it is carbon based. It's a tri-composite material helmet made of Kevlar, fiberglass and also carbon. In fact, you can see the carbon pattern through the actual lacquer on the top itself. A few cool features on this helmet apart from being seriously lightweight. You've got your air ports here, quick flick open, close here, easy to do when you're riding. The one on the top here, not as easy. It's quite rigid, but still, you've got this nice scoop that comes here. So providing that you're riding with your head up, that'll be scooped up. The one disadvantage you have with this is as your face goes lower down, the wind doesn't quite catch up there. Not something that you should be worrying about. But aerodynamically, this helmet is awesome with these neat little wings at the back. They're pretty much called spoilers. Apparently from research and development, this actually helps stabilize your head whilst you're riding, and I mean I can see how that would work. Another neat feature of this helmet is, let's get this visor up. I mean the visor itself, as you're opening and closing it, is pretty neat, pretty smooth, but the neat thing about this is the multi-positional visor inside. Obviously that is your sun visor there, and that stays at different points. Some people would say that's a disadvantage because unlike the HJC IS-17, which has a spring-loaded mechanism, so as you press the top it springs back, this doesn't. But the cool advantage of that is that you can actually position this at any point that you want and there's nothing to worry about there. So sticking with the Arai family here, what I've got here is the Arai QV Pro. The reason I've picked this up is because it's different to the other helmets that's on the market here. The shade system itself is actually externally on this. Unlike other helmets where the actual shield is inside the helmet, being externally, you're not compromising on the actual strength of the helmet itself. And in fact, it acts like a little mini peak as well. I mean, that's a cool bonus. But on the plus side is that you're not jeopardizing the integrity of the helmet at the front here. You're not including that extra weight as well that goes into these systems about having an integrated visor. As it goes with all these lining on the inside is good. The vent at the front is pretty easy to operate, opens and closes like here. But the nice thing about this, put the visor down, it has got the anti-fog vents in the lens itself. So these pretty much go up and down like your eyebrows. Easy to operate, easy to open and close, no need to fiddle. So it's unlike the X4 helmet where you have to actually go under the peak and all sorts to fiddle about with the vents. Having your shade visor down gives you easy access to these. Still talking about vents, these vents at the top here do easily open and close, and you also have the one at the back which is one switch, simple, open and close. A little bit stiffer than the other two, but it's there for purpose. Easily reach around the back of your head, open and close it as you want, you know where it is. So the one thing I've got to say about this is obviously that your shielding visor doesn't go all the way down to the bottom. You can see here that there's an inch at the bottom there. That could cause you issues by giving you that line as you're looking down at the floor. But for the ingenuity of having this on the outside, if they were to make it any bigger, it would obviously dip down a lot more. So that is the one sacrifice for having the lens on the outside. But this, again, weight-wise, it's a little bit heavier, obviously not as light as the Spartan carbon, but it feels solid. Aerodynamics on this has been tested, has been proven. It's a really steady helmet. Opening the visor, there's a little mechanism here, pushes it up, allows you to pull it up, allows you to pull the visor up. Then to change the visor, it's simply enough pushing this little lever in here, that falls out, allows you to get into the screen and remove it as you want. But I can't talk about helmets without going the entire spectrum of price. Going down to the lowest, well not the lowest, but kind of like a reasonable amount that you want to spend on a helmet is the HJC IS17 here. An update from the IS16, which I have used a lot in the past. The IS17, for the price it comes, is a really good helmet. The lining is soft, reminds me of a dearer helmet that you could spend your money on. They've upgraded this a lot from the IS16. The visor opening mechanism is now in the middle, so you click that with a button, open it up, and there it is. As on the IS16, it was on the side. The front here is a little bit easier to open and close. That again is one finger action, open and closes the vent. But this is where it gets interesting on the IS17. Of course, you have this shield visor at the front here, which goes down, and this time it does feature a smooth release mechanism. So you click that, and it goes down smoothly, whereas the IS16 I know had a huge jerk in it when you used to open it up. You need to seriously flick your head back, it was that strong. But now they've cushioned it, and that's a bonus. Graphics wise on this, it's a neat looking helmet, and they do come in vibrant colours, but this one in particular is subtle. It's got this neat satin finish on it, so they can't go wrong with that. Weight wise, it's not too heavy, it's lighter than the QV Pro, but all in all, for the price that you're paying for this helmet, I'd seriously recommend it. It's a good helmet, and of course HJC cater for the dearer end of the spectrum as well. But as a cheap to mid-range helmet, I'd seriously recommend this one. And the last on our list today is the Shark Evo One 2. The reason this has got my attention, because you're buying essentially two helmets for the price of one. It is a full face and an open face, and what makes this stand out is the fact that you can ride a full face helmet with the open front open because of the technologies here, whereas usually when you've got the open face it only comes up to halfway on here. The Evo One 2 actually goes that step further and tucks itself at the back here, so that gives you a full open face helmet whilst that's neatly tucked at the back. The nice feature about this is when you have the visor closed, the visor then opens automatically for you when you're actually switching from an open face to a full face. Simply move that to the back as well with the front. One button is all you need to press. Open that up at the bottom, the visor flips up, and your full face flips to the back. Piece of ingenuity, brilliance there. Obviously the sun visor is built into this, and again, this has a smooth opening and closing system, so you can leave it at any point you wish. You're probably going to ride it all the way down, but if you only need it halfway, it is there for you. The Evo One 2 does have holes for your headphones, for your speakers inside there. Not the biggest without modification, but you have the holes in there as standard, so that could be a useful feature to you. It's actually not as heavy as I imagined it to be. To have all this feature of actually having this helmet go from open to full face, it's not as heavy as I'd imagine it to be. I'd have guessed it is going to be a lot heavier. It's not too bad, obviously not as light as the Spartan carbon. That is what I'm basing all my weight against, because that is the lightest helmet that I've spoken about today. For the price again, two helmets for the price of one. You can ride them both legally in whichever position you want. A guaranteed winner. So you can get all these helmets from Woods Motorcycles down in the eBay links below. I'll put them below here, and also a timestamp to each one of the helmet. Head on the links below, see if there's anything like there, check out the prices, and you might even have yourself a new helmet. So that is all from me this week. Until then, stay safe, ride safe, and I'll see you soon.